Oh, a poet, and he didn't know it.
Lines, isn't he?
I love the intro as well. My God, thank you so much, Matt, Sponge, and Jacob. We're going to be jumping into this one with what seems to be a boatload of utility in the hands of Adren and James.
Thought he was going to go somewhere else with that one, lied to you, but happy with that finish.
When we had Greer and we realised Ryan were coming, you never know.
A few other people have mixed that up, to be honest, but either way, Incendiary for Shox. Diffuse gear for Amanek, got a smoke there as well. You can see Shoxy holding the flashbang right now towards middle, trying to help out his teammate Lucky, who's waiting to swing off that flash and maybe get a kill or two. That's the plan. Can they time it well, though? No sound cues given away from AVANGAR.
Notice the armor on Kiket's P250. Sometimes you see just the unarmored P250 with some util.
It's the Superman purchase, you know? You're really putting all your stock towards Kiket. It means Adren and James will have no armor here. It was Adren, I think, that dropped it, but let's see what can be done. Lucky, we're going to be flashed in just yet, but there it comes. It's worked out really nicely, but there is a trade available towards that position. The Incendiary is so good, Alex. You can see why Shoxy buys it. As soon as things get a bit hairy, they've got the bomb in their control. They can call for rotation. That's 7 seconds where the T's can't even recover. That smoke to follow it up as well. Beautiful scenes here from G2. Still a chance of recovery. James alive with Adren.
Need to get that bomb, they need to get it fast. And Dren does catch Kenny on the flank. That's a way in. That's an opportunity, but Amanek keeps this ship upright. I never liked Superman. What's the point? Like, what's the point? Why would you tell his story when he can't die? You know, I guess Kryptonite's a whole thing. I guess that's a thing, sure, but they had to create a whole new substance, you know?
Well,
powerful.
It is fantasy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well...
I think it's an escape from everyday life.
Okay, right, so we're just going to call all comics escapism now.
Potentially.
Yeah?
I agree with you. He's not the most compelling character.
You know, like, I like my characters with a little bit more grime.
I just use it because it's a universal reference, right?
Yeah, but you know what?
They came in with a really obscure one. It might not be as poignant, you know?
I'm not here to criticize you, just Superman himself, okay? Well, I like the name. You can call it your hero by if you want.
Well, people are calling it the Raid Boss by for a while. I'm not having any World of Warcraft nonsense on here. I know as much as you'd like that.
I would love it.
We're not having any of it. Anyway.
Just call it Ragnaros by.
It's going to be CZ across the board here for AVANGAR. We have got smokes there as well. It's a little bit more exciting on the CT side, I have to say, but every chance you can make it work. This snowball can quickly turn into an avalanche if they find the opening pick. Heading towards the apartments right now makes sense. Smoke towards library, maybe in front of the pit as well to segregate the CTs would be great. And as you can see, G2, passive crossfire mentality here.
I like the setup. I like the banana one as well. Amanek just tucked himself deep up banana. He's playing anti-flash for Shox at the top of it.
Yeah, exactly. There they go. Full commitment, smokes it down. AG towards the pit, no one to receive them. The flashback's decent.
So much damage. Adrenaline gets the first, and now they do start to just keep this one locked out. The swing from Sanji does not net him much, and nice adjustment from Lucky. He was the star of the show in Dust 2, and he started round 2 with himself a nice multi-kill. 4 frags in 2 rounds.
Yeah, force buy, no bomb planted in the 2 rounds we've seen. Has to be the eco now for AVANGAR. It's their map pick, that's why they start on the T side here. And that's important, considering G2 looked like the stronger unit overall, and pretty much every facet of the game. The fact that on the CT start on Inferno now, they can carry that momentum over, especially with pistol victory. It's going to be a 3-0 start for them. And James, he wasn't super effective on Dusty. He was missing a lot of shots, and he'll be silenced in his first half on the T side. He'll have to wait until he can switch over.
Nades towards Kiket, his unarmored Glock.
That nade's hurt. Here it comes.
Let's kick it again. He has been the punching bag of utility from G2, but still he breathes. Rinse, repeat for the CTs. Same setup. We'll see if AVANGAR choose to walk into it differently. Just Desert Eagles on the 2 of them, Adren and Sanji. To be tested by Sanji, just catches a glimpse of the leg, a nice restraint. Tapping away. Finds the head, looking for more, and he gets so much more. It's all Kenny. 4 quick kills, round over. The flanks from Amanek should be all she wrote, and it is.
Wow, we have some residual UMPs here. Don't be surprised if you see some aggression here from G to try and shut down any slow default AVANGAR have in mind. They have been probing and pushing towards that banana position, but we've seen a lot of teams go for those full commitments down towards middle. Second middle as well, we've seen North do that quite a lot on their CT side. Interested to see what G2 will be bringing in towards this first gun round, knowing there's probably no all potential here considering that force buy in the second. And will be 5 AK-47s. And what's the initial setup here? Looks pretty standard to me, so might just be holding back with the UMPs here, which are viable on the CT side of Inferno. There's lots of nooks and crannies to reside in. Kicker waiting to see if the flames will touch him before he drops his smoke. Feels safe for now. Smoke, not ideal actually, but CT's not committing off it.
Kicker not falling into the nade trap he did before. I say that, another one and two thrown his way.
A little bit.
Gosh. He's got a magnet strapped to his beret. Flashing and taking banana control, but the responsive Molotov will ensure Buster can't continue to clear out sandbags. The boost will enable him to do so eventually. Smoke arriving on the scene.
Oh, this is what I was looking for. How are the UMPs going to be effective here? Going to wait for that smoke just as it starts to dissipate here. That's when they flash over. Kenny S with the pop flash, they'll both swing and probably commit past half wall, I'd imagine. Here comes the flash, it's going to be decent as well.
It was only Jamie that got flashed. They have Buster poised to catch the aggression, and now those SMGs have been cut down. 3 remain for this defense. The bomb was at T-spawn though. They can't accelerate on this, or certainly could have, but the bomb plant would not have been swift. Instead, passive. They don't want to fall into the trap of a stack. There is only one man there. 2 still leaning towards A for G2. Kenny is just going to dart away. They got the info. They got the sight. And Kenny, what on earth? Catches kick it on the cross. Heard the steps on the marble.
And he's down in good stead for the round. No damage taken, although it looked pretty decent. It's going to be the round for AVANGAR, I'd say, at this point. 4 versus 2. Lucky and Jax remain. They're going to go towards CD spawn. It's understandable. We refer to it as the bonus round these days when you actually get this clean start of this. You go into that first gun round with SMGs, maybe MP9s, this time it was UMPs, and you can see a play there towards the mid stages of the round. They could feel they couldn't potentially hold off a full execution there, trying to throw a spanner in the works by pushing towards Banana. Flashbang was pretty decent. I just don't think they were aggressive enough for it. It seemed they were quite tentative on their approach.
Sure, but also, you know, a recurring trend we've seen now in 2019 Inferno is that teams are so aware of this mid-round aggression, certainly when the buy was that of G2's, is they're tucking themselves into the half. We saw Mousesports doing an awful lot, is that when they know the smoke's about to clear, they have at least one player just staring at that wall ready to swing on the flash. Yeah,
it seemed like G2 actually mistimed it slightly. They were hoping that smoke was going to be fully down. I think it actually caused a bit of a grey screen issue. They couldn't actually spot with full vision, and made things a little bit confusing in terms of, are we fully committing to this? Are we getting back? And it was the worst of both worlds, I have to say. But 5 M4s here. No Kenny S AWP just yet, but he is still very strong with the M4. He uses the silenced one, which is great for Inferno, actually. There's lots of smoke players, I'm sure you're all aware of, and you won't see the traces of the M4 when it has that silencer on.
Standard start. Flames to choke and limit AVANGAR's options early. And the default spread. We haven't seen too much action in Naps, while Sanji's about to change that. Keep your eyes on that team equipment. 4 smokes still available for G2. AVANGAR don't often fall into the trap of running that clock too far down, but certainly a possibility when the CTs play it well. Now, Molotov just going to deter and encourage a boost. They're going to be getting kick at holding any aggression from the B players, and it's something that G2 are certainly considering. Amalek's playing quite the off angle there. Flash comes in. Investigation. Kicket's going to just drop off the wall.
Lucky to survive that one.
They're pushing. They want this fight. Shox and Kenny are there, but great connection from Buster at the moment. Shox tucking himself into the wall. This could be a problem for Flash. He does get the dink, but that's not enough. Kenny, he only gets the 1. Now they can accelerate in towards B. There is not a single man there to receive them.
Yeah, they won't be going for this. That's going to be another round for AVANGAR here. Already starting to be drained from the GT bank accounts. Once again, pushing towards that banana position. Hasn't worked out for them. That's 2 for 2 now. It looked like there was a decent approach there. The flashbang was spot on. Kick out flash, but they were so focused towards the barrels and the car position that overlooked it. He was able to fall down and didn't necessarily have to swing there. They still had smokes available to them. They could have just dropped the smoke, locked him out, knowing he was on the other side. And I think that would have been the better approach. Less risk for sure. Going around that half wall, you don't know what's on the other side. You only spotted 1, could be multiple behind. Smoke him out, force him towards A. At least you've got solid intel there, but once more, a little bit chaotic. 1 committed towards the half wall. Kenny was behind the sandbags, flashed, and it all fell apart very quickly.
Yeah, aggression clearly not what they're hoping for. Is Buster going to be able to get away from this one? I think he's just about fine. So, aggression falling flat twice for G2 on their B side of the map. It's unlikely AVANGAR are going to be given the gift of that fight again. It's good to see that we have got ourselves a game on our hands. See that again from Buster. Just greeting Amanek, no worries.
Well, CT timeout. They save 2 M4s. They can afford to buy an AWP, you know. Shoxy could buy it. Malik will chime in now. The first tactical pause. There's a flying start, 3-0 in their favor. Now some decisions have to be made. Do they want to invest heavily here? Do you want to look at the bigger picture, take the eco, and try and grind their way back in, knowing it'll only go to 3-3 if they give this round up. But there are 2 M4s there. Kenny purchases this CZ, suggesting they'll go for a more conservative approach here. Shoxy, like we said, $5,000 for him. Yet to buy anything. 10 seconds now. Goes with the Deagle. We won't see the AWP this round. I think he's dropped to CZ for Amanek as well. Just trying to distribute the wealth out accordingly, make sure everyone's about even. Treats
himself to some Kevlar as well. There's a real shot, G2. If
Absolutely.
they can put Lucky and Jax in the right positions, let's see what they've got for. They've got Shox and Amanek both kind of hindered towards the B site, but both bringing smoke to play. Try and keep them at bay. Aggressive take towards Apps, and that smoke from Jax
gives you a nice little gap here.
Look at that.
So instead of throwing on the steps, which is probably most people's natural inclination, getting it towards that position means you can actually get towards that bedroom and have that small gap as well to hold. So a lot more valuable, I would say.
And more valuable smokes likely about to be deployed by Amanek and Shox, because presence could be shown towards Banana. At the moment, they have gone unannounced up to this point. We've seen contact Bs be oh so powerful, but looks like Amanek will time that just perfectly. First smoke bullets will give them the information that it's gone well. Keep himself off the line of spray. These rounds can be the scariest for the T side. You know that CTs aren't operating with a full buy. There is always a chance for naughtiness, and well, this seems pretty cheeky, getting him up on that boost. Should they re-smoke it, it's extra powerful. And speaking of smoke, Sanji's lining up one for the take.
Yes, indeed. That's for Coffins. 5 players here. Amanek boosted up. They've got time to react to this. Flashbangs are decent from the G2 side. Shoxy the Deagle here. Amanek looking for first contact. Gets it. And will be Shoxy to find the ultimate frag, though. It's going to be a second. As here comes a swing from Lucky. He said he might be able to win the round with this M4. It looks like it will be enough there. 3 kills for Shoxy in total. 2 with the Deagle, recovers the AK-47. That's absolutely massive for G2. Perfectly set up there, and the boosted position does all the damage, takes the attention away from Shox. They heal those CZ bullets coming in from spawn. They're all looking towards that position. They're all trying to panic and spray through the smoke. And you can see Lucky, as soon as Shoxy takes the aggro, when he gets a couple of kills, that's when he comes through. It couldn't have gone better for the French boys there, and it'll be 4-2, and they get the all-power for Kenny S. This is now them in 5th gear, looking to really dig their heels in.
Aggression this time going to be shown by the French early towards Banana, at least in the utility department. Smokes, Molotovs. Kickit does manage to evade a lot of the damage. Still willing to take these fights early. Amanek full commit to that spray, backing away now.
Made me feel anxious, that one.
Yeah, me too.
Silence and for sure.
Oh, just like that, Kickit and Amanek meet. They have a little kiss, and he's an aggressive kiss of death from Buster in response.
I would say just take that advantage, Amanek, but each to their own. Down he goes, felt confident, I respect it. Sanji now with the bomb needs to be very careful. Can't afford to give that one up, and he does. It actually drops in a really awkward spot. James swings out trying to get in position. It's Kenny with his second kill. They're completely blind as well. Dren and James with 2 smokes between them, up against 4 G2 players here. Great shot to open things up here. It's down to Shoxy now. Last player residing towards that B bomb side. Not for long. James is no one-trick pony. He'll find the weapon of choice and now position himself towards the ruins.
Single-handedly handling this one. He's about to walk into his crosshairs as well. Does manage to bait out the shot.
Yeah, he's had a few misses today. The AK looks spot on. There's a nice bait from Lucky there. Flashbang to come in. I think Jane might have done enough here. Smoke towards Banana. Flash to follow through that smoke. Good grenade. Softens up a Dren.
It's going to make things just a little easier for them.
Flash, this will be a commitment from Jax now.
Looking to push in then. Didn't quite catch a glimpse of Adren. Tucked in, of course, towards Emo. There's one close quarters. Oh, I think he got a glimpse of James. Tags him up nicely. They have the kit. The smoke arrives as well. Needs to take this 1v1. He's going to hunt him down. That's so precise. Grabs himself the AWP, but no time. And that will be a AVANGAR picking up the round. No preservation of the AWP either.
Well then, a 4 versus 2. AVANGAR giving G2 a taste of their own medicine there. Great shots from James. G2 didn't necessarily do anything wrong there. He just helps himself toward the bomb side, knowing he had to go absolutely massive there. He manages to get 2 very precise headshots and get them a very important round. G2 will respond with a double orb setup here. Shoxy and Kenny S. This is the original G2 Inferno.
Oh my
when
Lord.
they first joined G2, when they were called the Super Team, when everyone was very excited about this, Shoxy and Kenny were doing absolute work on the CT side with these double orbs here. No one could shut it down for a long time. Sanji has the Mac 10, and that's actually a very viable weapon. No one has a helmet on the CT side. Not sure who's going to win this round. Shoxy knows he has to go for a frag here. Challenging towards the out of position once again. Has to run through the flames. It takes a lot of damage for it.
What a punishing Molotov. Forces you to either take the fight or take the damage. Kenny, however, with this double AWP, does exactly what he had to, finding the opening frag. Adren has his body bag zipped up by the French AWPer.
Well then, Amanek will be holding the incendiary out. Deploys it now. Good timing as well. Just the flashbang came through. They'll have to sit back now. Coming to the 1 minute mark. All 4 players for AVANGAR outside the B bomb site. Still with smoke available to them as Shoxy knows they'll still be weak. They come through. He misses the all-important shot there. His teammate Amanek will try and pick up the pieces and bait him in. The AWP at close range, really not ideal.
Yeah, it's just so far from where Shox wanted to be. Amanek, he's in a real spot of bother now. They're flooding in. That's a huge frag. He doesn't really have the bullets for this fight with Buster. Goes down. Lucky trying to put some resistance down with the Deagle, but doesn't connect. And from resistance to bombs, it goes down now, okay? We'll catch Jax's aggression. Kenny's just going to try and keep his AWP in play.
Why is it this weird fisheye lens?
Yeah, what's going on?
It's like not zooming in at all. It's just bringing up the scope overlay, but it's not actually zooming in. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like you can see, it's not zooming in at all.
You heard the double click. Oh, that is odd.
Can we get that fixed, maybe?
I don't know.
It was last game as well that was happening. The fisheye sniper lens.
I mean, yeah, I have to press my nose against the screen.
I was like, he was doing this on Dust 2 as well. I was like, Kenny surely can't be single scoped.
He's not that brave. He's not that brave.
That seems ambitious.
AVANGAR, the finding success on B. Shox and Amanek. The B players. And the Mac 10 didn't come to pay dividends in the end, despite the absence of both Kevlar and helmets for some. And so 4-4, it's our second map. If you have just joined us, you missed Dust 2. G2 managed to remind us that they are a multifaceted team. Their CT side of Dust 2 now netting them double digits or close to it. I think it was 8-7. Finish it off nicely with their signature T side. Now just Kenny with his signature weapon. Perhaps a run boost. This could be nice little flourish. Doesn't have the fight he was hoping for, but instead wants to challenge down towards second middle. Sanji's gone.
Oh. Blinking, you missed it. Kenny S with the run boost. Fantastic movement there. The incendiary down towards T steps. Mini commit towards second middle. Couldn't have timed it better. What has he got in store for us next?
You can see the process of elimination. It's like, take the fight, no one ramp, Molotov, and Kenny, he's on B now. Talking of dynamic, just floating around.
Yeah, 2 players there. Be aware of it. They're throwing this smoke towards spawn, and Lucky only has the USP here. Wants to try and recover that orb if possible. It's down there.
While the smoke's still up, perhaps this is his best opportunity. He does manage to sneak away with it.
Might just want to consider saving that.
Get the hell out of there.
And he's not in a great spot for them. He needs to get the hell out. They're not going to win this round.
B has been working so wonderfully for AVANGAR. This one, of course, a little less resistance given the absence of any real investment from the French. A reminder that 3 of G2's 4 that currently stand on the score is from that pistol and the conversion.
Lovely opening pick from Kenny. Back in the right position there, but you can see he was tempted by the sound cue of the grenade being thrown to his left, and actually 2 players on the other side. Had it just been Jame, probably finds the frag, but second player waiting for it, and that'll be bust up. He gets the all-important kill, and then the boosted player, Lucky, couldn't really do much for USB. He had a CZ there. Maybe there was something to be said. I will say G2 haven't adopted the 5-7 like other teams. We've really seen that weapon do some serious damage this tournament. Yeah. They haven't really seemed to be using it at all.
NRG is one of the teams in particular.
Ethan's play comes to mind of those 2. That was wild.
Dick Stacey, actually, for Greyhound Gaming earlier in the tournament. He had some incredible plays with it. And so into the round, another couple of sacrifices made. A FAMAS, a UMP. Let's see what AVANGAR choose to throw at them. When B has been working oh so well, CT's likely to change things up a little bit, and they have done so. Oh my lord, look at that from Amanek. He knows the smoke is deployed, and he's going to get flashed through again. He's trying to get the early advantage. The back turn, it's Buster. Nade does manage to find some form of trade, but it's not his life.
Same position for Kenny. Looking to stop them crossing over this time. That's what let him down before, allowing them to get towards the left-hand side of that wall. So they haven't necessarily shown massive amounts of presence towards B yet. AVANGAR falling back. Sanji to work the apartments here. They're actually clear for now. Just one player towards the pier. It's going to be Jax. Another difficult situation for them. 5 on 4. Kenny S needs a bit of intel here. Needs to confirm they can go hold the A site confidently.
Yeah, like leave him to his own devices. We see so many teams do it, but the flash from Buster will be enough to keep both Shox and Kenny there advancing though, and that's info. Knows Buster's still where they last saw him, towards the logs.
The flash opens with his rotate. Shox goes before the flash even pops. You can see Buster was flashed on the fadeaway. Just had to wait a little bit more.
The timing's just been a little off, a bit shaky.
Yeah.
Lucky's going to hear the step. They know that they've completely lost long control, and they're starting to pincer. Oh, Kenny's in so much trouble.
I think that miss might cost them. They're still going for this for 20 seconds. They don't want to fall back at all. He might be able to do something with this. They're kind of locked in spawn here. If he hits this shot, I say he's got a chance. He still does, Alex.
That's the bomb loose. I think it's been retrieved in the meantime by Buster. Kenny looking to reposition through the Molotov. He wants to stop this plant. 10 seconds. If he can catch this frag, it's not far off. Gets it. And now the bomb can go down. Just lucky. Kenny's such a good attempt at resistance on the site, but AVANGAR, they do manage to stabilize. Gosh, they had to do some quick thinking. They had 15 seconds to get into that site. Extended now by the bomb plant, but I think that's it.
Kenny did everything could, even with a couple of misses thrown in. There was a chance he wins that. The planter, I think, was Sanji at that stage. Yeah. Manages to think very quickly as to how they're going to win the round. If he goes down, the bomb transfer towards well with 7 seconds down, it's likely they throw it away, but stayed calm, made sure Kenny couldn't get multiple frags. And he hit the AWP, hit the run through flame, so it was likely he was low. And there it is. They will manage to win the round. A little bit chaotic towards the end, but still, G2 now are 3-0 up. Now find themselves at a 6-4 deficit. Kenny has 13 kills, just to note, so he wasn't too loud on Dust 2, but really showing up here.
More frags than he did in the first map.
Was that 11 on Dust 2 he got?
Similar, yeah, same score as his last Dust 2 adventure. But it's best of 3s. Once you are poised for elimination or qualification for the next stage of competition, it will be that best of 3. Going to see a lot more of them for the remaining days here in the Legend stage. Malak on the microphone once again. Timeout called and the fist bumps are in. Looks like we're going to be jumping into round 11, map 2. AVANGAR, their T side has really started to look smooth. You see why they chose to pick it. This was a nice attempt from Amanek. I mean, you've got to give some props for the bravery.
You see, that's the flash. How much that would have wrecked him.
That was a perfect recap of the Shox aggression.
I feel like, yeah, you're right. You said it. The timing's just slightly off here. The calls are correct. The intentions are great. But overall, it's just not quite sticking the landing on the G2 side. Either way, though, they are going to partially invest into this round with barely anything. Some upgraded pistols, a few smokes with no armor. Lucky has got that saved AK from the previous round. He'll hold towards B. And that's why they've been losing most of the rounds, and they keep trying to go aggressive, and something just goes slightly wrong. It's right down to the minutiae here, but overall it's just good ideas, but not completely going through them in the correct way. We'll see whether they can recover this round, though. Flash over again. Lucky can actually do something. There's good position to work off this flashbang.
Gonna hit this. He's gonna get checked. Wow, quick adjustment, looking for the second, but Kicker's there to trade. AVANGAR have been trading oh so well. Kenny, he's desperately trying to find a surprising frag through the flames, but instead he loses the majority of his health. Now, perhaps going to pick up the pace a little, AVANGAR. They've got full info on the B, or rather on the banana, not the site itself. Smoke now will arrive on CT. They've lost their hardest hitter, Lucky's AK. It's not retrievable.
Indeed. That smoke's not great towards B as well. Might not push AVANGAR away. You can see, looking for the gap there. Kick gets spotted up. Jane will work towards middle. What's the play here? 30 seconds remain. 4 CTs waiting towards A. This could still fall apart. Shoxy doesn't have work with the 1 DK here. It could be enough.
They check it. James too smart for that one. Not going to fall into the same trap we've seen teams all to that corner before. Even at this stage of competition, still a chance. With 15 seconds, Amanek does just do the damage to Sanji. That may not be enough. Now they know where Jax is as well. Sanji's not going to present his head, that's for sure. Just Shox and Jax looking for the jump shot, and he actually might have another go at that one. He knows Sanji got dinked. But yeah, this round is definitely looking like the 7th for AVANGAR.
I think you might be right.
Some damage instead, just try and take something away from them for the grand scheme of things. It's not going to work out well for Shox. They know where Jax is. You can play that time. Leave them with the bomb explosion. It's just unlikely. 4 people hunting him down. There's no way he can present his head that he won't be met by lead. Wow, I keep accidentally rhyming. I think I've got like a weird like Dr. Zeus disorder or something.
You got something going on up there, that's for sure. Well, round 12 coming in. It's going to be 5 in a row for the T side here. AVANGAR looking strong. G2 starting to drop off. We said going into that Dust 2 games, their CT sides have been letting them down. And you can see something's not quite right here. That the timings are slightly off and there's over-aggressions at times as well. But still they can come back and win this half. It's still relatively early on. And we'll see whether Kenny S will be able to find that strong form he was displaying in the first few rounds. Incendiary down all over the map here. You can see 3 of them deployed in the banana area towards bottom and middle as well. Buster will fall back with his smoke.
All of the changes to the battle for banana control are also interesting to me. Seeing like T smoke mollies for presence, not necessarily commit to them. There's a whole new dynamic with, you know, re-aggressions. We've seen, of course, G2 with a whole lot of them, and I think we're actually going to see another example of one here. Kenny holds the line. There's a flash in the hands of his teammate Amanek. Should he take that first shot, there'll be a chance for him to re-swing. Oh, and another aggressive push. This hasn't worked out well for G2 in the past, but now Kenny getting us a demonstration of how good it can look. A double kill. Jame and Buster gone.
Yeah.
Playing games, drinking beers at Jame and Buster's.
Even with 2 kills there, you can see Kenny looked a little bit disappointed with it overall. He still gives him the advantage here, but the AWP has been given away. Kick up outside the smoke right now. 50 seconds remain. Still plenty of utility on the CT side. 3 players remaining for AVANGAR. There's going to be one towards T-Spawn. That's Sanji making his way in. They won't commit until he's in position with them. He's got valuable kit for them as well. They actually go through. Kicker to commit and checks the boost. It's actually Amanek on the other side of the smoke. They've done a great job to get presence here. Kicker will avoid damage as he makes his way towards the B side.
Whilst they don't have the numbers advantage necessarily, that bomb going down does give them something to work with. Sanji's going to be responsible for the banana push. No one's going to be coming from that way. Instead, CT spawn is where the G2 boys will be advancing from. Smoke's about to clear. So Jax, we've seen him throw this before. He's going to smoke off banana. The rest of them start to enter into the site. Kick it on the defense already. Adren's gone from Paul down to Sanji and Kick it. The double push. The flashes are good. Sanji's full blind, but Kick it. What was that? A double kill from nowhere. No right. Now the numbers are starting to look all too favourable. It's going to have to be a 1v2 for Sanji. The transfer. Kick Sanji, the heroes of the round, finds the 8th for AVANGAR.
That's insane. What a finish that was.
I want to see
Sanji.
Kiket's frags, man. That looked ridiculous.
I think he's on top of the emo boxes.
Yeah.
I think he just turned away from the flashbang. They had no idea they were flashed themselves. They fully committed, and he got a quick double kill. Looked like they were onto a perfect retake there. And Kenny S opened that up with the aggressive play once again towards B. Got 2. Still not enough, as they have lost the half at this point. 8-4 down. T-side advantage here for AVANGAR. We have got maximum loss bonus in the CT, but that only gets you so far. You get no bonus cash for defusing bombs or surviving. It's all about getting $3,400 and having to take partial buys around it. So he was on top of the team of boxes, just turned away from the flashbang, quick double spray down, and very successful finish.
God, if he doesn't hit both of those, Sanji's gone. Kiket's flashed, and on those boxes, strong individual play from all of the members of AVANGAR. You can count on them all.
Yeah, they're not messing around anymore. Will be over past the finish. And
3 and
both of these teams play.
Getting a little apprehensive. Yeah, I think it's going to be the replay. So all good. I'm just going to get that reset. Headphones off for Kenny. That's enough of an indication for me. But it gives us an opportunity to quickly remind you of the scores on the doors. You do see Kenny looking to kind of redeem himself after his performance on Dust 2. Of course, redemption not necessarily a problem, given the fact that they did win Dust 2. This is AVANGAR's map pick, looking to take it to a 3rd. What is that 3rd, actually? I wasn't...
Overpass.
Overpass, that's right. Oof, I haven't seen Overpass yet here in Berlin. I'll be very excited to watch that one unfold. Easier highlights from that first half. Of course, the pistol round went oh so well for G2. They got the first 3 on the CT side. It was Lucky who won them the second with a lovely triple kill. Kenny making short work of the entire mid push here. You'll see a lovely multi-kill, getting the last as well. But that was 3 of the 4 CT rounds they managed to acquire.
Yeah, they didn't win the pistol. So far, they only have 1 gun round, but still, it's recoverable, I would say. AVANGAR, though, looking like they're in cruise control at this point. Kenny S managing to get impressive picks here. He was having a decent game by his standards. Yeah, that's the opening kills he got. They fall back to the bomb site, and James just dismantles the defense there. Comes down to the very tight situation. Very close rounds here. Like, G2 have been unlucky in some of these instances, but some great shots, especially with Sanji towards the end of that previous round. That was really quite special.
G2 have not successfully defended since round 7.
Yeah, look how many, like, the bomb's gone off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and G2, they're struggling towards this B side of the map, it feels like the most. That's where it seems to fall apart. They have advantages, like big ones, and then they'll either get a little bit too aggressive or push over with the flashbang, and it just hasn't worked out even once for them.
All of their Hail Mary plays always result in a 1-for-1. It feels like a Vanguard, they have so tuned in for these trades. G2 haven't been able to get those multi-kills other than here. But Kenny's heroics at Kick It managed to destabilize yet again.
They still lost that round.
Yeah, watch this. He gets his 3rd kills in a quick succession, 2nd and 3rd.
Well, partial by not even that, to be honest. Upgraded pistols, Lucky, the only one with Kevlar. They've got the 5 smokes. G2 very good with pistols individually, but AVANGAR are presenting a very efficient and clinical game here. Once again, AMANEK thinking about pushing there. Maybe the Molotov will dissuade him at this stage.
That Molotov is paying for itself. I keep seeing all this damage of aggressive CTs forced to back through it.
Yeah, you're right.
Add that one to your playbook. Those of you watching at home, getting to see the re-smoke come out from Kenny. It's not good. There will be a gap once the initial smoke does fade. Out of control, completely given away. You can't contest with the buy that G2 are presented here in round 13. Oof, AMANEK just lost a ton of his health. That might have been the one off the skybox. Vanguard, they do seem like masters of this. Take notes of how they will group up and trade off one another. Slow walk procedurally, ensuring no funny business. Three CTs to receive.
Absolutely. We'll see whether they can defend at all here. Remember that, no armor. And at this point, no defense. It's the Dren sneaking through the smoke. He'll find 2, but they're not going to be satisfied with that just yet. No one's cleared out the pit, but they're almost happy to let players reside in that area. They'll challenge them when they have to, but the Dren can hear Jax burning to a crisp there in towards the pit. And we're going to have a 5-on-2 situation. This was just an eco, not really even a partial buy. Looking for any upgraded weapons if they can find them. But look at the health situation for AVANGAR. They've barely taken any damage here. It's another convincing round overall. Their money's starting to really swell now as AMANEK desperately tries to get an AK here towards CD spawn. But they can just sit in the pit. Like we said, they're all full health. No reason to go hunting.
No reason to give any advantages into the remaining G2 players. Taking an AK, of course, into that CT side. Always a lovely prospect. But not to be the case, as AVANGAR making a real statement here at 2. 9 out on their attack. G2, Shocks is scratching his head, quite literally. And figuratively. What do you do differently? How do you change? I mean, if you continue to at this rate, it's going to be an almost impossible task into their T side. I mean, they're great T players, but if we're looking at AVANGAR picking up the last 2 rounds of this half, that's an 11-4 T side.
On paper, you're absolutely right. But in big LAN games, I've seen some ridiculous comebacks on the T side of Inferno. Like, you think back to Astralis Liquid not so long ago when it went 13-2 to 13-2 into overtime. Like, it can happen. Like,
teams are just so damn good on their T side.
Yeah, like when the chip's down, they really have to perform, and they get a pistol, and they can start running through their protocols. We say G2 had their weaknesses on CT sides throughout this tournament. It's a T side that normally shines, so certainly not over, even if they only have 4 rounds. Still work to be done on the AVANGAR side.
And with players in form like this, with names like this, you certainly can't write them out. You're right, that's a brilliant nade.
Yeah, it's a touchdown.
Kick it. He is going to be looking a little wobbly into the side. AVANGAR can actually connect the last bullets to finish the job. The nade started. Shox does it himself. Another one, Sanji's doing the dance. Oh, the spray. It's not actually going to find the frags necessarily, but AVANGAR's done so much damage and connecting onto Sanji. 5 members of G2 still standing. There has been a significant lack of rounds for the defense, and it's not quite a guarantee just yet. James' aggression finds Lucky. Buster's got a little gap he's hoping to exploit towards Nubox. That's not where Shox has found himself. Jax has actually pushed himself all the way down Banana. They're locked in here. They have to commit. Buster's managed to level the odds. Shox finally makes his whereabouts known. With the crossfire, just Adren left, and he's already got one. And Jax has pushed up perfectly. Nice work from G2, bouncing back after timeout.
Well, there it is. Only 2 players survived, but it's actually a pretty good-looking round overall. Shoxy doing God's work at the back there, managing to get lots of damage off, stay alive. Tenacious stuff. As we get into round number 15 here, there might be a couple of compromises on the CD side, considering only 2 players survived there, but it looks that they're okay. There's the AK for Shoxy, and Kenny is still with the AWP. So Shox will have a couple of grenades missing, but apart from that, it's pretty good looking overall.
Flawless, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to see whether this is going to be an opening pick for James. Kenny only pushed down towards middle once with success. It's time he'll deploy a bit of utility towards the B side of the map and fall back towards the arch.
Trent. Had lost some shots into the apartments. Haven't seen too much action on A, certainly not through the apartments anyway. They take that brackets control, they like to use long. Well, it's opened up now. Kenny, he's just shut down by a lovely connection of James.
Yeah, well, that's where the AWP already peaks on the T side of Inferno, the opening kills like that. Mid stages, when they're trying to get the bomb down, that's when it can be a little bit more troublesome. But that's wonderful. Going in towards B now. Does kick out. Want to commit off this? Looks like he absolutely does. Trying to surprise. Shox in the back. He's taking damage though from the incendiary. He dishes it out though. Shox down to 39 and Buster thinks better of this situation. Gonna flash and just fall back as AVANGAR, he detects a threat towards the other side of the map here.
See how quickly they choose to challenge up mid. They know they've got some of that pressure thanks to James' early frag. The timing. AVANGAR adjusts. Gets the frag onto Adren, long open, keeping it now. 3 members all towards the quad side. They start to crawl and creep.
Creepy crawlies.
But with 20 seconds, this could be a problem. Jax still comfortable in this crossfire. Oh, this is going to be right down to the wire. This next frag from James, everything, now the bomb's loose. This should be the French finding their 6th, and they are looking oh so poised to do it. Just Sanji finished off by Jax, and it ends 9-6. Last 2 rounds from G2 keeping things relatively close.
Yeah, that actually helps out a lot. It was looking like they're only going to get 4 at one stage, but they're back on their feet. Brilliant half there from AVANGAR. What a fantastic team effort overall. No one really peaking, but it is going to be looking very solid for them in the second half. Can G2 get back into it? We'll have to find out after this break.
AVANGAR They picked up 9 on their T side, sent to the defense. It's map 2. Welcome back to the Starladder Berlin Major. I'm Machine, he's Henry G, and we could be seeing 3. Overpass is on the cards should AVANGAR close this one out.
Pistols have been great for G2 though. We have to say that. They've looked very good in those rounds, got both of them on dust too, and we'll see if they can close things out. Remember, they actually got this on the CT side of Inferno as well. 3-0 start, but only 6 overall. Now, traditionally, if you look at Inferno, generally it's going to be a CT-sided map, but in these big games, when teams like G2 are playing on their T side, magic can occur. AVANGAR certainly the upper hand here, but if they lose pistol, goes 9-9, they can certainly get themselves back into it. I can see the buy already, but a player has disconnected, so there's maybe not much point breaking that down.
No, yeah, we'll just keep hold of that until get the headphones back on Adren's ears.
I saw the G2 boys dishing out chewing gum per player before this game.
Did you really? Like a little dealer?
Yeah, I feel like it's the twist effect happening. He once said it made him feel like he's playing better. I actually used to do that as a player as well. I read a research paper saying that chewing gum created more circulation to your brain.
Yeah.
So I thought everyone was aware of that.
And I subscribe to the other twist theory that he talked about, which is just it stops him from. Okay, it sounds stupid now. I'm about to say it. Stops him from complaining because he has to think before he speaks. He has to.
Right.
That was something he suggested, and I kind of like the idea that every time you want to talk, there is just a little extra, tiny little filter you've applied to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point in complaining?
You don't want to spit the gum out on the screen, so you have to make sure you're ready to talk.
And, of course, it makes your jawbone pop for all those Reddit comments and threads.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Is that how you got your look?
That's all it is, yeah.
Just chewing gum.
I've been,
Alex does it while he sleeps as well. That's the secret. He's like always grinding. That's how he got that chiseled structure.
Speaking of chewing gum,
go on.
This is an interesting one.
We're going deep down the rabbit hole on this one.
Yeah, I'm so glad we're talking about it because, I actually recently found out that a member of the Counter-Strike talent team regularly swallows chewing gum.
Now, I have heard that as well.
What do you think about that?
That's more of a dietary choice, I think, more than anything.
That's 20 calories of pop, I imagine.
Yeah, like when you're watching your figure, I think that's what they're going for.
I remember.
But, I don't know. I wouldn't want to comment, really. I do not recommend that at home to anyone.
Please don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I remember
Really
as a kid, you were told that it lives in your stomach for like 900 years. I think it was a little exaggerated, but...
How would they ever find that out?
I guess, there's this thing called like science where they tend to do like experiments and...
They just cutting people open and go, right, there's a chewing gum.
I found the chewing gum.
Been there for a good 4 years at this point.
Someone's doing the autopsy.
Yeah,
it's like years of chewing gum in here.
How old is this chewing gum?
It's like trees.
Age it?
You can just date it. Like, I see this is the Wrigley's from 2001 edition.
They stopped making that flavour in 1997, so there we go. Anyway, we've gone way too deep in the chewing gum situation, but the game hasn't started yet, so do not fear. It is going to be the second map if you're just joining us. This is our 2-1 game, so no losers, generally speaking, but it's not the greatest feeling going into the 2-2 bracket. There's some scary teams potentially going to be down there.
Certainly.
You want to try and get through as quickly as possible, I think that goes without saying, as AVANGAR are looking good for the second map. It was Na'Vi that just took the first off MIBR on Mirage. It's actually a 16-11 game, so it sounded like it was pretty close.
Right, and I just want to remind everyone that AVANGAR's win versus Liquid was on Overpass.
That's a great point. Yes, that is the third map here, and G2, they played a lot. They've had some great success on that map this year, but AVANGAR taking down Liquid on what I'd call their home map. That's when we've started to notice Adren's implementation towards the coaching role, and overall, that's actually quite daunting for G2 if he gets there.
The only Overpass we've seen from G2 was their opening game. It was a best-of-1 versus Na'Vi on Overpass. So, I mean, they've some big scalps taken by both of these teams on that third map. We'll see if we get to see it. Technical pause at the moment. We thank you for your patience. You want to make sure that everyone is satisfied.
Are you satisfied right now?
I am, actually. And now I kind of am craving chewing gum. I mean, I don't want to be bringing it back up. Let's not get lost in that again, but kind of fancy it. And it does look like we're jumping straight back into the action. It looks like we're seeing a pistol round. It is 9-6. Welcome back to the Counter-Strike.
Yes, back to the games for sure. Here we go. Back into a little bit of a duel there towards middle. We'll see. No damage really exchanged though. James takes one bullet to the knee. And at this point, it's going to be a fast commitment from G2 up towards that quad position. And Sanji flash, but still looking confident.
He get into the site. Amanek does descend from the heavens, and he's sent straight there as well. Bullet from Sanji. Oh, he can hear the steps. He knows there's one above him. They've got access to the site, but they didn't choose to get that bomb down. Sanji's presence known. Buster and Adren trying to come from the library side. It is just the two remaining now. G2, they know how to give these bursts of aggression. They know how to execute them well, that's for sure. Using those numbers, the Glock train has no brakes. Oh, Buster. He is not done. He wants to try and find a way into the site. They're tucking themselves in nicely, though. Real tight, like hotel sheets. And another one from Buster. It's all onto him, looking to go for the 1v2. They stabilize with a double kill, respectively, for Shox and Jax. The last two remaining. And if they continue this trend, I mean, G2 winning the first pistol and converting into the full 3. If they do so again, the Vanguard's lead will be nullified.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The hotel sheets analogy, is that something you use commonly?
Do you not find yourself every time you get
I know exactly what you mean. It was a good one. I was like, did you reach into the darkness to pull that out?
That's a brand new one, yeah.
Is it? That's great.
Thanks.
I would have said like tight as a drum was normally my go-to.
Oh, because drums are quite tight. Yeah, they are.
But no, I know what you mean.
I'm so glad it made sense, because I really wasn't sure. Nice one, kick it. They run down middle, and it should just be the shooting gallery for Lucky, just going to spray away at these unarmored opponents. I'm going to stop squealing. Nice handle with the Glock as well to finish things off. And so G2, they get the initial conversion, but that does mean a Vanguard are coming in hot, right?
Yes, and they'll be having M4s and an AWP. Buster, he doesn't waste any time. He purchases that straight away. He had it
Didn't
just
hesitate.
enough. And Sanji could get a secondary if they really wanted it. I don't think they will. They don't seem to be a team that requires that to win rounds, so they'd rather have utility here. So a pretty useless round, nothing to report here. They got 1 kill. It removes a bit of cash from G2 overall. But yes, they'll know they'll be buying into this one. And James has the AWPs. We dropped it as well, so he gets a helmet as well.
Unarmored MP9.
Yes, indeed, yeah. Buster had to be the martyr of that round, as he'll be just MP9, no grenades, nothing else. James, I can give you an MP9. How about that?
How does that sound?
Like, is that fine?
Wow, the sacrifices people making for their stars.
There's been a lot of that. Like,
yeah.
I remember even up to 2 years ago, we were just saying like, all the time, like Na'Vi, the prime example, right? They never seem to have the correct weapons in their hands, but don't really see that too much these days.
This could be a burst out of apartments, likely sending Amanek to strafe towards the quad instead. Everyone's turn. So is Jax. He looks to punish, gets them both. The off position from Adren. It works oh so wonderfully, but they haven't got around yet. Sanji's looking to ensure it, but Kenny's back in the kill feed, gets himself the second of the round. Let's not forget that armor. There is none on Buster. James Orp did nothing. These sacrifices of Vanguard have made could come back to haunt them.
But they do have a player waiting in the corner with the unarmored MP9. They won't necessarily detect him there. If Sanji can show enough presence at this point, that's a good Molotov to be fair. He'll be flanked out. He might be taken down, but he actually gets the frag. I feel like Kenny won't be checking Buster's position at all. If he kills Sanji, he's going to assume it's clear, which he does. Does he check the corner? I don't think he will.
Buster, he can't really move a muscle. He makes noise if he leaves that box. He's just going to have to lie and wait. Hope Kenny doesn't check it. Yep. Presents himself. He saw it. Oh no! Buster gets it. No armor needed. Yeah, I'm feeling the same as Mr. Whiteshirt. Face palm.
It was such a beautiful setup there. It was a bit of a gamble from AVANGAR to have that many players on the site. There was like 4 towards the pit and the bomb site there. And there's no way after you kill that player towards the site, you would just assume it's the B player that resides. He's rotating in from the apartments or top or middle, something like that. And even with just MP9 and armor, I think that was a bit of a 4x3 situation. I was watching it on my screen very closely. I'm in game as well. And Kenny did see him on our 16:9 ratio, but maybe he didn't quite catch him.
He does play back bars, yeah.
So that could be why.
Charging a banana, James in a spot of bother, flashed and locked out.
He gets away.
Gets out of that one. They couldn't punish. I think the smoke there was enough to guise his escape, albeit a bit of a messy one. There is a lot of SMGs into round 19 for both sides. A flash and a push from Buster lets them call that perhaps he should send Sanji back towards side of A, but already charging up his smoke top library and Arch. He's completely locked out. He's just going to have to put some speculative bullets through the smoke. A is all on Adren. He's gone now already. G2, this round should be theirs. Shox has arrived in a big way, but now Jane does the trade. Buster upgraded his weapon a little bit. Jane can't quite connect to just that for now. Amanek and Apps connects onto Buster.
Back and forth action here. G2 making it work though, and looks like the save will come in. It's their most valuable asset. James AWP on the CT side of Inferno. Only got 9 points of health. I know it is a bit of a meme these days, but this is totally justifiable save.
Yeah, definitely. G2, they brought higgledy-piggledy round and come out with the 9th.
But still, not going to feel all that confident because Lucky still with the CZ, Mac 10 for Jax, CTs. Sure, their money's going to be weak, but they've got an AWP, and another G2 player gets dropped there. Mac 10 recovered. One rifle, one SMG. Jame with the AWP. Sanji upgrades his SMG to an AK, denying the T's to exit with that weapon. We did say it would take a pistol victory for G2 to have a look into this one. They did lose that third round, but bounce back here. But I wouldn't be surprised if AVANGAR can justify force. What do they want to go for? 3 USPs, not feeling it. Going to try and keep money strong. Still every chance they win this. Jane might be able to pick towards second middle like Kenny did before. Keeping it pretty standard for now. There it is. He goes for it. Flash is decent, gives away his position. He might even go towards B now.
Yeah, perhaps a bit more of a spurt.
Yeah, he does. He's gone through towards Arch already. So he's going to transition over. Thing is, Kenny plays the exact same way James does. Like dynamic, show presence, rotate. They'll be aware of that mindset, and you can see him still committing towards A, even though he just peeked middle.
They're not falling for it. Adren has worked with a rifle. I don't think it's going to work with the USP already. Jax has made light work of the A site. Just walks in with a MAC-10, says, I'm having this and that.
That's so well read. This is like an evolution of the game now, because that used to work so much. You'd go shoot a shot towards middle, especially second middle, then run towards B,
right.
Be ready and waiting. But as I said, so many top AWPers using that sort of mentality, and but it's quite readable at times. These kills not worth chasing, to be honest. I guess Jane is a valuable target, but he's going to be burrowed away somewhere, yeah, all the way towards T-spawn. It's only his teammates that are actively hunting with the USPs.
Burrowed. For some reason I'm visualizing like a Diglett with an AWP.
Send us your best photoshops, I guess.
Sure, if you fancy it. I've seen some terrifying Diglett theories.
I know,
have you seen them?
Yeah, I have.
Like the idea of what's beneath the earth?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Quite disturbing.
Yeah. It's my basic profile background.
Is it really?
It is.
Other services are available, but...
one of the many.
One of the many.
10-10 the score. So G2 coming into their T side and making quite the statement. Picking up the pistol did certainly give them the advantage into the stomp of the second. Let's see that from Jax's POV. Sanji's back was completely turned, and yeah, he didn't have the support of Adren. He didn't have the weapon really to support.
Yeah, well, we are all tied up. Jame, of course, has saved the AWP. They took the eco in the previous round, saved the weapon, and here we go. Double AWP setup. Speculating about that earlier. It is going to come through. Flashbang is decent. Jame will have to fall back. Completely flashed off there. And they're committing fast with this one. Got the MAC-10. Going to keep the pace nice and faster, Alex. Oh, that Molotov, not really ideal.
Okay, softens him up a little bit, and Jame, that is so damn quick. Lucky plucked from the air, and Kiket's there to support with the bomb now in his grasp. This one, so much time still on the clock, should be over. Can he change his things? Catches Adren's descent.
So who's left on the bomb side? It's actually Sanji, alone for now. He's going to be tucking himself in towards the corner. He has a smoke and a decoy, but the bomb's down in towards that arch, so he's relatively safe. They don't really have a reason to wrap the site here, especially now, 4-on-2. Don't see much wiggle room here for G2.
Double AWPs, and it's James that makes such an impact. Kicket there with support as well. Just picking this one up. Could have been the transfer from Kenny, not to be. And so AVANGAR find themselves the most minimal of leads. Very even kill distribution for AVANGAR so far. Just 6 separating top from bottom. Buster from Adren. Shocks on the microphone, calling their third tactical pause now.
Yes. Yeah, they can definitely buy here. They're just trying to work out what the problems are now. They know there's a secondary AWP out at this point, so execution play is going to be first point in their agenda. Work out how to nullify the AWPs, get close to the bomb sites. We know they like the MAC-10. That's actually super viable against these double AWP setups. You can drop loads of smokes, send the MAC-10 in first to cause a bit of a ruckus, and then even use that to fake. So this looks to be maybe a bit more of just a tactical pause. I can see Malek chatting to the admins there, so maybe having a bit of an issue here. So we'll take a bit of a pause here. It's 11-10 in our second map.
Seeing these breaks in the play, I always try and put myself in the player's shoes.
Yeah, it certainly adds to the tension, because you cannot talk to each other when this technical pause is occurring. So you just to sit there, you can't talk via text. You're not really allowed to point your screen or make any gestures. You just have to sit there silently.
I think they usually get a little bit more leeway in terms of just making silly faces at each other about the 20-minute mark, you know, when we've got one of those with the mice type situations.
Yeah, sometimes if it takes too long, we're up to the 15-minute mark. That's when the headsets will come off and the seats start to recline. Back they go, just like this, Alex.
Wow,
just
what
so you
seat
can
is
see.
that? That's a nice recline you did there.
Well, maybe you can read the name on the back of it. What does
Of course
it say?
I can. Oh, it says Secret Lab. You can sit like the pros in a Secret Lab chair. One
I
of the
feel quite
sponsors.
professional right now.
I've never tried casting in the JDM style. Not anymore, by the way. You see this announcement?
No,
he
announced
ain't
he's not-
lounging anymore,
There's
man.
no more lounging.
I mean, he kind of built his brand around it. Don't want to say
Yeah.
that that's
Wasn't he telling us that it was best for his actual back and posture and stuff?
it is the best for your posture.
So how come he stopped it then?
Probably because he realised that
He has to get his nose
it's very
close
hard
to
to
the
play.
screen.
It's very hard to play the
That
rifle.
far away.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I felt like he couldn't pivot with his arm to rifle as effectively as
So
he could.
it's good for posture, but not so good for in-game fragging, perhaps.
Gaming not known to be the best for your health. These players, of course, professionals in and out of game. Certainly as the game continues to grow. I've seen so many Counter-Strike players in that gym. Everyone, every team,
Grinding away.
taking care of their physical health, yeah.
Are you spotting them, helping them out?
Yeah, man. No, I'm quietly sitting in the corner with my shoes off. Everyone kind of judged me for that, but I'm a socks in the gym.
Yeah, it works. You know, nice foundations there, natural.
Don't want to get sweat in your hype beast shoes.
Well then, here we go. Round 22. Could all come crashing down here for AVANGAR. They lose this map over 2-0 to G2. Boost is decent there. Nice flick from Buster, but couldn't quite find the head. We have 5-on-4 to kick things off here.
That's a really good way to break the double AWP, so boost into the peak
Yeah.
crosshair.
Pick him with the AK. You're going to be happy with that one.
No complaints. Plenty of smokes up at the moment. It will just be a little bit of a moment's break. Now Jack's looking to line up another one. Shocks as well. Jane will be smoked off. Might try and put one bullet through, and he connects. Shocks down. 4 versus 4. They start their advance. Adrian on the box. Jack isn't ready for it. Bombs now loose. The CTs are handling this with grace. Lucky looking to change things, though. The tides of battle do not shift. Amanek, the only one to fill the kill feed for his squad. Jumps into the jaws of Jane. Close quarters. Sanji's going to swing on that. Lovely work from AVANGAR in round 22.
Well then, getting the opening pick. 5-on-4, G2 fully commit towards the A site. Jane with a little bit of luck and skill thrown in. He will manage to pick one of them cleanly through the smoke. Quite snappy as well. Looked very confident that was going to land. Absolutely spot on. Takes player down. Forces him towards the A side, trying to get away from them.
Whoa.
And then we have it.
They're so far back on that boost as well, just to
Yeah.
show as little as possible of Lucky.
Let's take an eco here.
That's going to put AVANGAR poised to close it out here on the defense. They've looked calm. G2 started this half with quite the bang, picking up 4 rounds, but they have not moved from that mark. In 2, strung together by AVANGAR. What should just be a formality could be changed by the Deagle, the P250 and the flashes, but
Yeah, it would take something pretty miraculous, but it can happen. It's happened many times before in big games.
yeah, the last time I saw something like that happen was on this very map from Angel, just walking around with his Desert Eagle. Individuals capable of just turning the game on its head with the smallest of weapons.
All it takes is, look at Jame right now, he's alone. If he gets 1D, they pick up the AWP and they fully commit towards B with an AWP there as well.
Terrifying, yeah.
There's a chance, you know? He's got to be very careful. If he gets flashed, he feels uncomfortable, he needs to get out of there. 1 kill will do, call for rotation, drop the smoke, and it's looking very safe now. They can't really justify rushing him.
Well handled by Jame.
Yeah, couldn't be more spot on, to be honest. Flashbang to be delivered by Shoxy. That's about all they've got. Flash over, hope for the best. It shouldn't affect Jame too much yet.
Does mean that they can cross just a little bit. Kick it, despite the flash, does not have any issues. Neither do AVANGAR. Wrapping that one up. Nice kill distribution. Just kick it, and Jame finding themselves 3 and 2. And so, G2 coming back in with the bye.
Haven't seen much from Shoxy here on Inferno so far. 8 and 14. Only one of the talisman for G2 overall. 21 for Kenny S, however. So he was relatively absent on Dust 2, so good to see him posting big numbers. They've got another bye here, but a lot of work to do on their T side. Looking more unlikely they'll close this one out. 4 AKs, 1 Krieg. No double AWP set up anymore for AVANGAR. James seems very comfortable at this stage. Incendiary down towards B steps. Always gets you thinking that the second middle could be a problem. You can see them very tentative approach here. Gap in the smoke as well. Buster trying to use it. Lots of damage inflicted.
just to move, just to have access to the rest of the map, they have to pay quite the price.
Yep.
Molotov bullets all thrown at them on their exit and entrance. Jack's now tagged up as well. Didn't see where that one came from. Might have been a teammate. Up through long. Sanji just on the edge of the smoke. There's no way they walk through it. Grey screen would have been the end of them instead. Kenny does shut down James. He's been duking it out, battling towards the A site.
He was a graveyard, James. Kenny S just destroys him there. Knows the orb's available if they can get closer here, but they've had 5-on-4s before they fall apart. They have no utility remaining, just a decoy. Sanji uses his position to great effect, but this is only good for one. Does Adren do much better? Apparently not. It's Jax that runs away with the round, and AVANGAR looking at the bigger picture here, realizing money. There's enough there, even if they lost these 2 weapons for another buy, but they want to keep the money strong. They've got a nice lead here. No point throwing it away, and it's Kenny S that opens things up, and Jax to shut them down.
I think that's where Jax is at his best on the T side. He's, you know, the second, third man in.
Yes, exactly. When he gets his first kill, you know he's getting a second. If he hits a critical shot, like, he's more than likely going to nail another one, which he does there. Really great stuff. Adren can do nothing about that. Sometimes they just hit a very good shot, and you have to just respect it.
Both of French Counter-Strike teams right now is a good example of the combination of the, you know, the old and the new. Shox and Kenny, figureheads of their scene for so long, combined with those they inspired. I mean, we see that everywhere. Look at the Swedish scene, you know, we saw that, of course, has left a bit of a bad taste in some mouth recently, but,
yeah,
you know, it's the forest with the reses, you know, it's the same kind of thing, still.
Things are a little more complicated over there right now, but there's the replay from Jax. There's all the heavy lifting that round. I mean, they could be throwing away this decoy, getting himself a flashbang instead.
And off to the races we go. Round 25, map 2.
They stabbed each other again.
It's happening. How does this happen?
It's actually a big deal. We'll get into that later. Jane will get their first kill by virtue of Buster's flashbang over the top. Shoxy down to 76. Bit of a rough round there for Lucky. Goes down to 70 at the start. Stabbed in the back. I guess it didn't really have much of a knock-on effect. He was going to die to that op shot regardless.
Thankfully, we don't have to talk about that too much more.
Yeah, but it happens at least once a day.
I feel like I've seen it once a day, yeah.
Yeah.
Shock's going to try and Molotov towards that close corner. Response from CT's in kind. They've left James to his own devices on B. Let's see if that comes back to pay relevance at the moment. Yeah, just a slow one. Kenny and Jax just playing the waiting game, hoping for some CT aggression. They're playing anti-flash for that, and now smoked off in mid. To buy them some time, they will leave AVANGAR towards apartments, try and keep the CTs there.
They have read this very well, the CTs making their way towards B, but actually second-guessing it.
AVANGAR steps did cause the call. 40 seconds. G2 start to barrage utility towards Spinner in a position to have anything to fight them off. Kick it. He's so good at surviving, doing damage, chipping away. There is a gap in that smoke. It could be exploited. It's quite be established here. Jax has to double up. He can't this time. Just Kenny and AVANGAR. They have the time, admittedly. The bomb's loose on the site. They've got the smoke still present. Process of elimination. He's actually clearing out those corners with the orb. That shows trial of the times. Kenny could catch James here. He's been left all alone. 1 versus 4 for the Star Orb, but he couldn't. James has played the waiting game so well.
He's making footsteps there as well, just to keep the attention towards that coffin position, and it works out so well. That's very disciplined and well played by AVANGAR. Even though they pulled a kill back, kicker goes down, but still, just a bomb planted. Time running out now. They are at a 14-11 deficit. Money is available to them. They'll certainly buy up into this round. Can't really allow AVANGAR to have 4 map points. So they'll take a tactical timeout, I'd imagine. Malek chiming in now.
He talks with his hands. So let's see. So that palm, I think, is mid.
Okay. So he's saying, right, imagine this is the middle of the map. I want you to get up there, kill the players on the other side.
Yeah, he did a kind of
Jobs are good.
I think that must mean, obviously, kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, lifting the palm.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm so glad we worked it all out. Their third tactical timeout. I think we just had that one checked.
So, by almost a certainty here, you can see the MAC-10s coming through. Hands of AVANGAR, makes sense. Viable weapon on Inferno. Lots of potential to run and gun through the smokes. And Molotov sometimes. Buy for the CTs, seeing they've got 3 AK-47s. Same mod incendiary. Stops the fast approach for multiple players, although they do break through with one player. This could be Kenny.
Yeah, poor Molotov enables James to get that info real quick. More difficult than people may imagine to actually get that Molotov perfect. Still, charging now towards short. My goodness, they're not slowing down. Sitting AVANGAR in first. That's information, but not the frags they were looking for. Adren, he's been so good at keeping this one under lock and key. He does have the smoke should they molly, but Buster's doing a lot of the heavy lifting too. From sight, catches one. Wasn't ready for Kenny's off angle. Adren could peek around the smoke. That's what Shox was waiting for, but he still can't connect. James has rotated in from middle. For now, Kenny in a 1 versus 2. He's playing the waiting game. Wants to catch Adren on the edge of the smoke, and it's not enough. Adren does everything again. He's finding the multi-kills when they come to his domain, and that puts AVANGAR on 15. One away from taking us to a third, to overpass. And Matt, both teams have already taken big scalps on.
Well, yeah, AVANGAR, more importantly, the #1 team in the world right now. They took them in overtime and had a clean finish. Actually, double overtime, I should say. As Adren, very calm finish here, finds Kenny S on the edge of the smoke, and it's going to be 4 map points now. It's going to have to be a buy here, obviously from G2. Mac 10s, Deagle, CZ1, AK. Kenny S and his fantastic efforts on this map might be in vain. See what can be done here. Shoxy trying to beat the utility. Looks okay for now. I'll have to use a smoke in the end. It's going to be the orb. Top of B once more.
James so ready and willing to take this fight. He knows it's only going to be the pistols. Fires off the shot and accepts his fate with the nade. Brings him down to half. That's going to make the Deagle all the more intimidating. Mac 10s too. I haven't found myself shouting and screaming about Amanek's SMG prowess this game. Been locked out by AVANGAR's defense. Could this be the last round of play until overpass? Lucky tries to push through, caught by Buster. Just had full grey screen. Look at this corpse, completely sticking out like a sore thumb.
Just to know, G2 did win both pistols on this map.
Yeah.
One with a 3-0 conversion, the other 2-0. Very convincing win if this round comes through for AVANGAR. This is on the side it. Kick out, great positioning. Somehow gets both of them.
He's a turret. He's a turret.
That's ridiculous. That should be it. I don't think there's a chance now. Amanek 5 versus 1. It is going to be map #2 going in favor of AVANGAR here. He can't recover a weapon. He's running out of time. The bomb's down towards the arch. It's great work. You can see why Alex gets excited about that SMG. But still, he doesn't really have time to do anything with this. It's a fantastic attempt, I have to say. But that will confirm he doesn't have time to plan anymore.
Yeah, doesn't have time to plan, doesn't have the bombs, it's just star points and the rating. And so 16-11, AVANGAR bite back on their map pick. Just as many would have hoped. We're going to be having the decider. It ends on Overpass. The winner of Overpass is off to the Mercedes-Benz